Friends, we have winter storm shortages popping up all over. So we're going to be sifting through some of these reports to see what's going on beneath the surface. Obviously, people run out and grab stuff if they hear a winter storm's coming. But we're going to be hearing that from some unusual places. Places where that doesn't quite make sense. And we're going to connect some dots here today. We want to keep you guys ahead of the curve. We got Georgia and other states hit with this brutal winter storm. We got power outages across the South we need to talk about. We got a major government intelligence company hacked, leaking most of Americans' data, their tracking data of where you've been for the past 10 years or so. You know, nothing major. And the UK looks like it's running out of gas. And Australia is running out of fruit. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. And these are your updates that you guys are sending in. Thanks to all the Watchmen who send in reports. If you have something to share with the group, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. The comment can be on this video or on any video on this channel. That gets to the right place. Before we dive in, we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. My prayers are with the folks at Genesis Gold. They haven't replied back to my recent emails. They got a lot to deal with over there in California. They're in Orange County, so that's basically there, right? So prayers with them. They are good folks. They're folks that go to church and are with other folks, the minority in California. But they really care about what happens to you, making sure that you guys are set up with your IRAs, 401ks. Make sure your retirement accounts are safe and secure from market fluctuations. So if you want to get into precious metals, just tap on the link at the end of the video, and they'll reach out to you and answer your questions and see if it's a good fit for you. All right, Georgia. Let's start off in Georgia. Being hit by ice from Winter Storm Cora. This is kind of just going across the entire South, as well as I haven't gotten much up here in Pittsburgh, but folks down south are getting hammered. About 100,000 people have lost power now. That's just in Georgia. We got little bits here and there in different states, but the concentration is really in Georgia. We got governors of Texas, Arkansas, Georgia, and North Carolina all declaring states of emergency due to the winter storm. Please be safe in those areas, especially with the ice on the roads. If you're not used to ice on the roads, and you don't have tires and stuff for that, please just stay home, wait for them to get cleaned up, okay? Stores are being impacted across the United States. Trucks aren't getting through. Distribution centers are backed up. Yeah, it's chaos out there. And, of course, everybody ran to the store to get as much bread and milk as they possibly could because apparently everybody does French toast when there's a storm. So they got their eggs, their bread, and their milk, right? Of course, egg prices are through the roof in most places, and availability is difficult. Over in another corner of the world, Chinese vessel Shenzhen 39 was reported to be on an intercept course with the Taiwanese internet cable that was mysteriously cut. Just one more incident in these string of cases where Chinese and Russian ships just mysteriously cutting cables accidentally. This is really starting to become a pattern and almost a strategy of, have there really been any consequences for this? They're going around cutting cables and nothing happens. Why wouldn't they cut more cables, right? Speaking of shadowy government agencies and CIA and stuff, a major hacking incident has occurred on Gravy Analytics. Now, at first you might be like, so they make food? Contrary to its name, they do not make food. In fact, what they do is they buy up data from apps that you may use, like Candy Crush, Tinder, it was mentioned, and other apps that track your data. They buy up that tracking information of where you are, and then they aggregate them so that they can basically build a profile of where you've been over the last long while. about a decade or so is kind of what they're really after right now. So basically, a good chunk of Americans have enough data where you can basically see where they've been, with their phones tracking them all along the way. Well, not just Americans, but also Europeans. Now, a lot of European governments and the United States government isn't allowed to track their citizens, but they're allowed to buy public companies tracking information that they then use to spy on you. So, I mean, if you think that's better than the government just spying on you, I don't really see much difference. But here's the real kicker. So they got hacked, and somebody walked away. People are saying Russians, maybe. But apparently on a Russian forum, they started dropping tracking data on individuals, just releasing it to prove that they've done it. So possibly millions upon millions of Americans or Europeans are about to have all of their tracking data of where they've been, I don't know, forever, dropped on the internet or sold to the highest bidder. Isn't that a comforting thought? So glad we have the United States government protecting us. Yes. And the European governments feel so safe, don't we, that all of our information just keeps getting taken. And not only is the U.S. government now spying on us, but everybody else can too. It makes it a nice, even playing field for everybody. This was pointed out by Full of Hope. The British gas company has warned that they now have less than 1 week of propane stored in the UK. Now, this is after recent icy and wintry storm weather conditions. Britain's Department for Energy Security, which is supposed to be for security or something, said it has no concerns about the country's energy supplies. Not sure if you're supposed to go to a different government agency to see if they care, but apparently the one that's supposed to care doesn't really care about that. But watchmen in the industry are concerned. Not enough propane or natural gas in the systems could lead to outages or network issues. If they get some more cold weather, the UK could be in trouble. And I've said if they have a real cold weather over in Europe, overall their natural gas supplies could be depleted. They decided to go away from Russia. They cut the Nord Stream. Somebody cut the Nord Stream. And then on top of that, we have they don't want any of the natural gas crossing over Ukraine anymore from Russia. Difficult times, and in this case, they're caused by the people that are suffering it, or at least their governments. We have reports from the Watchmen near the Richmond area where they had the water outages. They are now advising that their water came on yesterday. This is several reports from folks. So appreciate you guys sharing with us. There is still a boil advisory in North Carolina. Richmond area in Virginia. That is continuing to be an ongoing issue there. We have a major gasoline pipeline that goes across California and supplies southern Nevada. Unexpectedly was shut down for about 24 hours when it lost power. Gasoline has begun flowing again once they've restored the power to the pipeline. People don't realize how important the infrastructure like these pipelines are to you having gasoline when you get to the gas pump. When we had the Colonial Pipeline shut down, remember, suddenly everyone was like, "Oh, there's this pipeline, and it's really important, like really important," and it got hacked. We are very dependent upon our infrastructure, and I know it's boring to look at infrastructure and think about pipelines and power lines, but these things are super, super important, and our comfort and our daily lives depend on these things. Just by chance says 40 cars stolen in one weekend in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's in the news. That's crazy. South Dakota, 40 cars stolen in one weekend. Yikes, that is a crime wave if I ever heard one, right? Not where you'd expect it either. I mean, you expect that kind of thing from Los Angeles, where they're looting people's houses in the middle of a disaster. And you see that down in like Louisiana and that kind of stuff too when they have a disaster. But South Dakota, you kind of hope not to see that, but we are. One Acro year says New York City, the Aldi's by me has been out of eggs all week. Meat section is sparse and what's there is madly expensive. Still plenty of pork chops left though. They're unusually low also on sugar, and there's a lot of empty spaces on the shelves. I got a bad feeling about this. A lot of us are right there with you, you know. Shirley says, I'm here in New Jersey. I was in my local Acme supermarket in Warren. I know. When you first hear Acme supermarket, you're like, is that really a real thing? And then you realize it is a real thing, and you start going, I wonder if they have dynamite and slingshots and all the other stuff that Wile E. Coyote always came up with. You know, you just have to wonder that, don't you? But so they were in their local Acme supermarket in New Jersey. There was not one carton of eggs in the refrigerator section. Only various egg products. There was a sign on the glass door explaining why the shortage. Yeah, because government tampering with the chicken population. That's basically why. I suspect they didn't actually say that. Deb in Mableton, Georgia, Lidl, no fresh chicken. I've been warning about this, that we may see some chicken issues out there. One full cooler case row empty with an apology notice on each section. Hopefully you guys are stocked up on chick coin and other form of chicken that is either frozen or dehydrated or whatever. Jennifer in Queensland, Australia. We were shopping yesterday and it looked so bare. Fruits, veg, meat, eggs, milk, just to name a few. My husband told me the store often doesn't have bread, and a mate is struggling also to find baby formula. That is in Queensland, Australia. Is it now Kingsland, Australia? Someone needs to answer me that question. Why it's not. Pat says, went to, is it sort of like, I see the original 3 Star Wars movies as real Star Wars, and like all the other Star Wars movies, except for maybe Rogue One, all the other ones aren't real. Is it kind of like that with it's like the new king, he's not real, we just still have the queen? Anyway, sorry, I digress. Pat says, went to Harris Teeter in Denver, North Carolina today to pick up a few items on sale. Glad I didn't need milk or eggs. There were none, not even one carton of either. Carla in Franklin, Indiana. Meijer, dairy section, mostly empty. No eggs, no cottage cheese or other container items. Lots of empty spots all over. Erna. Steve, BJ's limits 2 cartons of eggs. So Superstore having a limit of 2 cartons of eggs. No pasture raised. The shelves are getting so condensed to hide the missing stuff. Sprouts also had limits. That's a grocery store. And lots of dairy/yogurt issues. A lot of the dairy is dated soon. So close dated dairy means there may be a disruption in the production. Like a week as opposed to the normal 2 weeks or even longer. Empty shelves in areas. For some reason, snack foods are not in shortage. Chips aplenty and all the other junk food is not a problem, and they usually aren't. That's what they want us to eat. They don't want us to eat the fresh stuff. They want us to eat the manufactured, overprocessed, bleached, all the nutrients stripped out of it. They want us to eat that stuff so we get to then take a bunch of medications. Raven Wolfpack says 2 weeks ago, eggs in St. John's, Arizona were $2.79. Now they're $7.98. It's Arizona. $2.79 all the way up to $7.98 in just 2 weeks. Jab Speech says in Fairmont, West Virginia, Aldi and Walmart and local grocery store, all of them have 2 for limits on eggs and milk each. So West Virginia, you're only allowed to get 2 from basically anywhere of those things. Crazy. DIR says, with the storms streaming across the land, people are buying up everything. Store shelves are nearly empty. Obviously, we're seeing that across the board. I've tried to filter out just the people just seeing storm damage to their stores, right? Where people just raced out and grabbed a bunch of stuff. In Springfield, Missouri, I ordered 2 small heaters online for pickup for the livestock. The order was made, and when I got down there, all the heaters were gone. They didn't fulfill my order. When I went into the store to shop, I was shocked at how many shelves were nearly empty. All but 4 packs of hamburger were gone, and less than 20 packs of all other beef remained. I bought the last bag of onions. Eggs were gone except for 2 1-dozen packs that were opened on the rack because they had broken ones, right? No whipping cream for the coffee. Throughout the entire store, most food racks were 3/4 empty. Please be sure to stock up. Stores can empty out quickly. God bless. You guys all know that story before, winter storms. You know, if you're not preparing for the apocalypse or a massive SHTF where stuff starts hitting the fan, right? SHTF. Think about storms happen. Pandemics happen, right? We learned that one together, didn't we? And I'm going to throw on there, wars happen. It's been a while since war has really touched Western Europe and the United States and Canada deeply. But historically, that's a thing. And if you think that rationing won't come back like that, when that happens, you might be fooling yourself. So many different reasons to just have a little bit extra stocked up. What if your power goes out? What if your water goes out? We're hearing all these stories from people. The question is when is one of these stories going to happen to you? When's one of these stories going to happen to someone you love or your family? At that point, what would you wish that you had done differently? That's the question I'm going to leave you guys with. If you want to pop that down in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts. If you have updates, make sure you use the word update in your comment. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. If you want to see what you can do with your retirement account, IRA, that's a way to really protect your assets. Jonathan and his team would love to talk with you. Just tap on the screen right there, fill out your information. They'll reach out to you, answer your questions, get you some information, and you can decide if that is a right move for you guys. They're great folks over there, and I am personally concerned for them with these fires. But until we see you guys again, God bless you all. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.